What's up guys, and welcome back to the Rails of Mass. In today's video we find ourselves at our home station of Needham Junction, and we're going to be discussing the proposal of extending the Orange Line from Forest Hills to Needham Junction, replacing the existing commuter rail. Beginning from South Station in Boston, Massachusetts, the Needham Line makes stops along the Northeast Corridor at Back Bay, Ruggles, and Forest Hills. From there it branches off and makes stops at Roslindale Village, Bellevue, Highland, West Roxbury, Hersey, Needham Junction, Needham Center, and Needham Heights. Between the stops of Back Bay and Forest Hills, the Orange Line does run parallel to the Needham Line, but also making additional stops at Mass Ave, Roxbury Crossing, Jackson Square, Stony Brook, and Green Street, causing a longer travel time into Boston. Now looking from the west end of Forest Hill Station, we have the Northeast Corridor on the left, and we have the Needham Line and the end of the Orange Line on the right. If this proposal were to come to reality, the Orange Line would continue from right here along the Needham Line right of way, and make its way all the way to Needham Junction, where it would potentially meet with the Green Line, which would be extended from Newton Highlands. The Needham Line currently sees about 6,000 daily boardings, around 80 or 90% of pre-COVID levels. On weekdays there are trains just about every hour, and about every 2 hours on the weekends. But this works perfectly for the low density of the Needham Line beyond Roslindale Village. Even with the denser population in Roslindale Village, I still think it would be unnecessary to extend the Orange Line this far, considering it's already well served with connections to Forest Hills, with the 34, 34E, 35, 36, and Route 50 buses. I think a better idea for the line might be to actually extend the line from Needham Heights into Newton Highlands. If the Orange Line were to be extended to Needham Junction, it's likely some infill stations would also be added along the way, making the trip even longer. In order to accommodate Orange Line service, this line would have to be double tracked all the way back to Needham Junction, plus the installation of third rail, new signal infrastructure, and the rebuilding of every single station along the line. I don't think this infrastructure project would be justified, considering we have many more that need more attention. In the early 2000s, there was also another proposal to bring the Green Line just to Needham Heights. I think that would be much more justified, and much more worth the expense. And despite popular belief, I think a lot of people would take the Green Line to Needham to get the commuter rail to Boston, as opposed to the other way around. As things are now, there's already a number of people that utilize the 59 bus to get to Needham to get to the commuter rail bypassing the Green Line for the smoother ride into Boston. One thing we should also take into consideration here is that the line from Needham Junction did once continue on to Millis and beyond. Up until it was discontinued in 1967, the MBTA also did offer service from Needham Junction to the towns of Dover, Medfield, Millis, and West Medway. Although most of this track has been either torn up or converted to rail trail at this point, the MBTA still maintains ownership of the right-of-way in case the need for service ever does return. And with the population rising across Massachusetts, I think it's best we hold on to that. The current schedule works well for a lot of people who need to commute to Boston for their 9-to-5 jobs and return to Needham in the evening hours. But one demographic that got missed here is the blue-collar workers. Although the current service to Needham is definitely not perfect, I think one way we can definitely improve upon it would be to add one earlier trip in the morning. With the first weekday trains leaving Needham Heights at 5:05 in the morning, that's not possible for some of the blue-collar workers to get to their jobs when they need a 5 a.m. start, or even a 6 a.m. start in some cases depending on how far they need to go. I think just by offering one additional morning trip, we can open a lot of doors for the blue-collar workers. While many of these people do commute back from Boston in the evening hours, they are forced to find alternative ways into the city in the morning to start their work. Now as we approach Needham Junction on a Saturday afternoon, I want you to take a look at the parking lot. There's basically no cars out here, and we definitely don't have a need for the Orange Line here. While service every 2 hours on the Needham line for the weekends is not great, it works perfectly fine for the handful of people that actually use it. One thing we could also consider for the future is adding additional trains on the Needham line that only run to Forest Hills. This will give people a connection to Boston with more flexibility, but not tie up the busy Northeast Corridor. Alright guys, thank you for joining me on this little afternoon adventure here on Home Rails. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Also be sure to let me know down in the comments what you think of this proposal. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.